Howdy friends and family, thank you so much for joining me. This is day 14 in the series I'm doing called In the Midst. We are in part 4 looking at love defined in 1 Corinthians 13. And last time we talked about how love is kind, and today we are starting to look at being content, because the next part of this definition is that love does not envy. Your Bible might also say love is not jealous. And so envy is a painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. And then jealousy is hostility towards a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. So it is this idea that someone has something good and you are resentful and you desire to have what they have. So the opposite of this resentment and this desire to have what they have is being kind. That's the opposite of the resentment, and being content with what we have. Well, we just looked at kindness, and so we are going to focus on this contentment. And so Paul gives us a great example of being content in Philippians 4, verses 11 through 13. He says, "I don't say this out of need, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I find myself. I know both how to make do with little, and I know how to make do with a lot. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being content, whether well-fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need. I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me." And so Paul is saying, I have learned to be content. That's the point of this little paragraph. He's saying he has learned to be content, but he's not saying this to boast about being content to the other people. He's saying this because he's approaching them from this idea that he has knowledge he wants to share, kind of as a teacher. He's saying, I have learned this and I want to share it with you so that you can be content as well. And so he's basically giving them this secret ingredient. And he says that the secret ingredient to being content is Jesus. And we often read this verse 13, as a statement saying that when we have God, we can literally do anything. Which, while it's true that there's a verse that says with man it is impossible, but with God it is possible, this verse is not saying that. This verse is saying that with Christ, we can be content in all things. I can be content in all circumstances through Christ who strengthens me. And so Paul is saying that he is content with what he has on earth because he has Jesus. And this is not an easy thing to do, because it's not saying that all the pain is going to go away or that you won't ever be hungry. He's saying that when I'm hungry, I can be content. Or when I'm full, I can be content. He is saying these things are still going to happen. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And so it is not saying that the pain or the problems are going to go away. It is choosing to be content despite these things because we have Jesus. And like I said, this is not easy, which is why Paul adds in that last part, Christ who strengthens me. And so this is not something we can do on our own. Our earthly ability does not allow us to say, I'm hungry, but I can be content anyway. I'm in pain, but I can be content anyway. No, it is through Christ. Because we have Christ, we can be content. Because he strengthens us, we can be content. We cannot do this without Christ, because it is Christ who strengthens us, giving us the strength to be content. Our strength alone will not make us content. So I encourage you to go this week. Let Christ strengthen you and work through you so that you can be content in all circumstances, because we have Jesus and we know our salvation is secure. So we can be content with what we have on this earth because we have him. If you're memorizing 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8a, this is your reminder to do that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.